Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first in a multi-part series of videos where we will provide you with an overview of the Loop Experience platform, both in terms of what it is and what it can do for you. So the Loop Experience platform is built on 4 core themes. These themes are collect, engage, analyze, and act. The collect portion of our platform allows you to collect feedback from guests throughout their journey as they interact with you and your brand. Engage allows you to connect with them on a channel of their choice. This could be in response to feedback that they have provided, or you may just wish to open up an avenue of communication with your guests. Either way, the Loop Experience platform is able to support that. You are then able to take the feedback that your guests have provided and analyze that data with the help of powerful tools and dashboards. And then finally, based on the data that's been provided, you can actually take that information, and once you've analyzed it, act on that data in order to promote experiences and brand standards. For today's video, we will be looking at the collect theme of our platform. So as mentioned previously, collect is one of our core tenets. It allows us to collect feedback via surveys at various touch points, depending on where the customer interacts with you and your brand. The surveys are tailored to your specific requirements in order to provide valuable insights at each step of the customer's journey. When it comes to collecting the feedback, we actually have a variety of different channels that we have at your disposal that allow you to gather that information and engage with your customers. Now, each channel that you can see on this list serves a unique purpose, and we'll be touching on some of these over the course of the video series. For the collect portion of our platform, we will be looking at 2 channels specifically, namely the web feedback channel and the kiosk channel. Web feedback allows us to create a survey URL, which you can point your guests to via the use of a QR code, which can be printed on a receipt or added to posters or tent cards. Guests can scan the QR code and take the survey on their phones. Kiosks are a physical station which allow for in-the-moment feedback. We have a variety of different kiosk options available to suit your needs, depending on whether you'd prefer to have a wall-mounted device or simply a device that would sit on a tabletop, or even an elegant-looking stand that could be placed at different places within the establishment. These kiosks can also be branded as per your requirements. In the event that a guest does not wish to interact with the kiosk device, we can also include a QR code on the kiosk screen, which the guest can scan via their mobile device, allowing them to take the survey on their phone. So with all of that aside, let's take a step back and look at what the Loop Experience platform really is. The Loop Experience platform is a centralized inbox to manage guest feedback. Feedback is collected, analyzed, and engagement with the guest is facilitated through the Loop Experience platform. Collected feedback can also be displayed on site via an add-on scoreboard feature that motivates frontline staff to elicit engagement. And without further ado, let's dive into the demo and see how the Loop Experience platform allows you to collect your feedback. So this demo is meant to showcase the guest's workflow for providing feedback when a guest scans the QR code pointing to the web feedback URL. The survey will be completed by the guest on their phone. Now, to give you a bit of a breakdown in terms of what you're seeing on the screen here, on the left-hand side of the screen, this is the Loop inbox. Any feedback or messages that are sent by your guests will be received within the inbox, and they will be available for you to view, as well as continue that interaction with the guest based on the feedback that's been provided. On the right-hand side of my screen, what I'm basically looking to do is mimic the guest experience. So as a guest, if I've walked into a store and I've gone ahead and let's say at a restaurant, I've found a QR code on my receipt. I can scan the QR code and I get taken to a landing page that looks very similar to what you're seeing on my phone here, which is essentially the beginning of the collect portion of the guest's journey. The information that you're seeing on my screen here on the right can be completely customized. So the logo can obviously be updated to your brand's logo. The text that you're seeing can be changed, as well as the color scheme that you're seeing can also be updated to match your brand standards. So let's go ahead and get started and see what kind of information we can actually collect from the guest when they are providing us with their feedback. So I'm going to go ahead now and click Get Started. And this is the beginning of the survey for the guest. So right off the bat, you can see that there are a variety of different question types that the platform supports in terms of data that's collected. So the first two question types you're seeing here are what we refer to as our Boolean question types, the smiley faces. We also have the ability to collect information on a scale of 1 to 5, that is customer satisfaction. And as you can see further down here, we even have the ability to collect feedback in the form of a pick list of options. So for example, if we wanted to get an understanding in this particular instance of who helped the guest, we have the option of providing them with a list of names that they can pick from. Another feature you'll notice up at the very top is the presence of a completion bar. So this is a survey that essentially has multiple pages to it. And in a moment, we'll see what controls the display of the follow-up pages based on responses that guests provide to questions on this first page. So let's go ahead and fill out the survey. And let's say that as a guest, I came and I ate at a particular restaurant and I had a very positive experience. So I can go ahead now and start filling out my survey. How happy were you with the service you received? I was extremely pleased. And did you enjoy your meal? Yes, I did. Now, of course, just to give you an example of what it would look like if the guest were to answer negatively, you can see here that if they were to select the negative option, the face turns red and it's sort of a frowny face. So it's basically just sort of a yes or no or a positive negative way to collect feedback for certain pieces of information that we want to know more about. And then we have a more satisfaction-oriented question in terms of whether or not the guest was satisfied with their overall experience. So given that I had a positive experience today, I will say that I was satisfied on a scale of 5. And then who helped us today? So let's say I was helped by Mary. I can go ahead and choose Mary. And now I can go ahead and click Next. Now, one thing I want to point out before I click Next, notice the answer that I have provided to the question, how satisfied were you with your experience today? In this particular case, I was very satisfied, so I gave a score of 5. Now, the way this survey has been set up, we use what we refer to as conditional logic within the platform to collect additional insights and cater those insights based on the responses provided by guests. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So let me go ahead and click Next. Right off the bat, you'll notice I'm taken to a new page. The survey completion bar has now changed from 0 to 50% complete. And the follow-up question that I've received is, what did you enjoy about your experience? And the reason I've got this question is because I had a positive experience at the location. And of course, here we have another question type that we can support, which is, again, a pick list. Only in this particular instance, the guest has the option of selecting multiple things if they would so prefer. Whereas on the previous page, when we were selecting the employee that assisted us, that was a radio button question type where guests can only select one option out of the ones that are provided. And then down at the bottom, we also have a comment box where the guest can provide additional feedback if they should be so inclined. But what would have happened if in the previous page, I had indicated that I was dissatisfied with my overall experience? Let's take a look. So if I scroll down here, you'll actually notice that I can go back on the survey, so I can go back to the previous page. And if I do that here and I change the answer to how satisfied were you with your experience? Let's say I didn't have a positive experience and I provide a response of 2 in this particular case. If I now scroll down and click next, you'll notice that the question here has actually changed. So whereas previously the question was, what did you enjoy about your visit? The question now becomes, how could we improve for your next visit? And again, the guest has the option of choosing from one of multiple options. In this particular instance, the conditional logic has been created such that the second page of the survey to be displayed depends on the guest's response to the question, how satisfied were you with your experience today? It is not connected to either of these first 2 questions. However, we do have the option of adding that additional layer of complexity with the conditional logic such that the page to be displayed factors answers from all 3 questions, if that is what you would so prefer. In this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and change my answer back to a 5. I'll hit next. Again, I'm asked, what did you enjoy about your experience? So I enjoyed all 3 aspects of my experience. And then, of course, I have the option to place a comment. Now, one thing you'll notice in the comment box, there is a slight asterisk here. And you'll notice I'm currently unable to submit the survey, and that's because the comment box is considered mandatory. So we do have the option of the guest comment being a mandatory field for the guest to provide us with a response to. Alternatively, if you want, you can obviously make that optional, and the guest will have the ability to provide their feedback without a comment. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and add a comment here and say, service was excellent. But as I start typing, you'll notice that I get a message saying that the field requires at least 5 characters. So we do have the ability to make it such that the comment box requires a minimum number of characters in order for it to be considered a valid comment. So if I go ahead and write service was excellent. At this point, I am now done with my survey, and you can see the submit button is now available, whereas previously it was grayed out. So I can go ahead now and hit submit as long as I'm satisfied with the results of my survey. And here is where the guest actually has the opportunity to either further initiate a conversation with members of the team, or if they simply wish to provide their feedback anonymously and they don't wish to be contacted by anyone who is managing the inbox, they can simply click the button that says no thanks. In that event, the survey response is going to be recorded within the system, but it will not generate a conversation within our platform. In this particular case, let's go ahead and see what it looks like if I were to generate a conversation. So I provided the feedback and I want to have a conversation with someone on the inbox side. In other words, someone on your team that may be managing the Loop inbox. If I go ahead and click yes, notify me, I now get an option to enter either my email address or my phone number. So I'm going to go ahead and place my phone number here. And once I've done that, I can simply click notify me. And at that point, from a survey standpoint, my experience is complete. I've provided my feedback, and you can see on the left-hand side, we have actually created a conversation within the inbox. That concludes the collect portion of our video. In a future video, we will be looking at the engage portion of our platform, where we'll pick up the demo from this particular point, and we'll see how conversations can flow from the inbox to the guest and vice versa. Thank you very much for your time. If you would like to learn more about our solution, please visit our website, www.benbria.com. If you'd also like to get a better understanding of the various question types that we support, you can visit our help center at help.benbria.com. Thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely day.